conservative new media viewers and Jeremy Lin fans around the world. Woo-hoo! Party time, party time, party time. That was awesome. And I, of course, am talking about Houston's 109-96 victory beatdown over the New York Knicks tonight in Madison Square Garden. With the victory, Houston is now 12-12 on the year. The Knicks dropped to 18-6 on the season. New York came into this game as the second best team in the NBA, behind only the Oklahoma City Thunder in the standings. This was also the Knicks' first loss at home, where they are now 10-1. Now, the Knicks were playing without Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. Houston was playing without Patrick Patterson. This was an awesome game for Houston. As bad as they played in Toronto yesterday, that's how good they played tonight. This was the Wonder Twins backcourt of James Harden and Jeremy Lin at its best. They lived in the paint tonight on the New York's defensive end. They just kept getting to the rim, and they crushed the Knicks. If you noticed in this game, you saw that Houston added the wrinkle on offense of having more cutting action, meaning guys cutting more to the basket. The people that did most of it tonight were Chandler Parsons and James Harden. But you saw Jeremy with that backdoor cut on the baseline early in the game. That's something that they must have added, I would imagine, yesterday, or they emphasized it more in this game. Chandler Parsons and James Harden were doing more of that in this game, and it worked beautifully. And so you can expect to see more of that in the future. Knicks don't match up well with Houston because of the age difference and the style of play. The first game between the two teams might have seemed like a fluke, but tonight I looked at it more, and they just do not match up well. It is because Houston spreads the ball out on offense. When they set up their offense, they have four guys standing outside the three-point line and then a guy in the middle. It's actually a lot like the Lakers play with Mike D'Antoni. And what that means is when Houston gets past the perimeter defender, then the only guy back is Tyson Chandler, and they're beating Tyson Chandler. Or else another guy is cutting to the basket when the man drives the ball, and Tyson Chandler comes to help out on the driver, and that guy that is uncovered is getting a basket. So the Knicks, with their age and their style, they just don't match up well with Houston. So I think if these teams played 10 times, Houston would probably win 8 times or 7 times. So that's just something that I noticed more in this game. Now, of course, Linsanity 2.0 returned and helped win this game, which was the Linsanity 1.0 revenge game number 2. That was awesome. The Knicks doubled Jeremy all night long because he was destroying them, but it didn't work because he was beating the double teams. When he was coming off pick and rolls, they were trying to double him or blitz him, as is said, and it just didn't hold up. I like the way that Tony Douglas, Jeremy, and James Harden played together tonight. We've seen that lineup before, and it's working, and it worked well tonight. James Harden played great. Beard Sanity was back, and he was happy to let Jeremy have the ball plenty. As I said, James Harden's not a selfish guy. I thought he made some really unselfish plays tonight, and it was great. The second quarter was when Houston really put the hammer down on the Knicks. New York did make a run in the third quarter, but it wasn't enough. Okay, that's the overall game summary. Now here's the summary of what Jeremy did before we get into quarter by quarter. Jeremy, there was a quote by him in the papers, I think yesterday after the Toronto game, and this was spotlighted on SportsIllustrated.com, SI.com, and he said something like, yeah, I was terrible. I'm terrible this year. Something like this. It was from the New York Post, and he put it up. And so he got mad. He finally got upset, just frustrated with everything that's happening. He didn't play well yesterday, et cetera, et cetera. So finally, we've been waiting for him to kind of react to all this and show what he can really do, and that's what happened tonight. He also once again showed that he is a big game performer. This is the big stage at MSG, Madison Square Garden, against one of the best teams in the league, and he came up huge. It just reinforces what everybody already knows that's been watching him. He is a clutch performer, and he plays best in the big games. He was aggressive from the beginning of this game. He was fast from the beginning of this game. And I talked about it yesterday in the Toronto video. I said, look, Jeremy's not starting fast, and he's not starting aggressive. And Kevin McHale needs him to start right from the beginning of the game that way, and that's what he did tonight, and he played great. Jeremy kept his confidence tonight. That air ball three that he had in the second quarter didn't affect him at all. He kept shooting threes. He only made one all night out of 6 attempts, I think, but he kept shooting, and it didn't slow down his mind at all. That's what we've been talking about. Just keep shooting the way that Harden keeps shooting, even when he's 3 of 19. It doesn't affect him. That's the way that Jeremy played tonight, and that was great to see. When Jeremy is able to dribble the ball a little bit better and hit his three-point shots a little bit better, he's going to be totally unstoppable, and that's going to come in the next couple of years. He's so fast off the dribble and in transition, people can't guard him. You saw that tonight. He was just dusting guys and getting easy layups because he's too quick. He's too fast. He does have a quick first step. And we talked the last couple of videos, he's not super quick. Well, okay, he's not as quick as a shorter guy like Ty Lawson for the Denver Nuggets, but he is quick, and he does have a fast first step, and he's really fast. It's so hard to deal with him in transition because of his speed. Tonight, he showed all of that, and it was great. Jeremy finished his drives tonight. We've talked about this throughout the season, where I would say to you guys, look, he's going in the lane, he's passing off, he's shooting up crazy bricks. And I said at some point he's going to start hitting those shots, and he's going to start finishing the layups, and that's what happened tonight. He was aggressive. He got exactly where he wanted to get to. He got good shots, and he made them, and he finished them. Not passing off to somebody on the perimeter usually, but just shooting a layup and hitting the layup. And that's what he did tonight, and that's exactly what he did in Linsanity 1.0. After this game, I don't ever want to hear anybody tell me that Jeremy Lin is a fluke or a fraud. There's too much evidence now that's the contrary of that. That discussion is over. After Linsanity 1.0 last year, the San Antonio game this year, and tonight, there's nothing else to say. You can tell me that Jeremy's inconsistent, that he can't shoot threes, and he can't dribble that great. That's fine. But saying that he's a fluke or a fraud or can't play is just labeling you as someone that doesn't know basketball in my book. It's clear what he did tonight, what he did against San Antonio, and what he did last year. This guy definitely can play, and he has a big future ahead of him. Jeremy outplayed Raymond I'm better than Jeremy Lin Felton tonight, and J.R. Smith. He went right at Raymond Felton. Raymond Felton went at him, but Jeremy went back at him. And that's what we want to see. No more Mr. Nice Guy, and everybody's going to try to attack him. Tonight, Jeremy attacked back, and that's what we want to see. Basically, Jeremy played exactly the way everybody wants him to play tonight, except for the haters. They don't want him to do well. He attacked. He was aggressive. He was confident. He was quick. And that's what we saw in Linsanity 1.0. That's the way he played, and it was great to see. Okay, let's go quarter by quarter here. First quarter, as I mentioned before, great backdoor baseline cut by Jeremy, and he got a pass and a score from Chandler Parsons. Jeremy almost got a steal on Raymond Felton early in the game. Then he did get a steal against Jason Kidd. Jeremy had a great layup drive early in the game. Had a nice assist to Chandler Parsons on the break. Jeremy had a great pass to Omer Ashik in the half court for a layup. He was just going right to the rim the whole time tonight. He went right to the rim in traffic, and his shot was goaltended. Now, he was getting his dribble stripped tonight. There were 3 times, and I think at least one of them was in the first quarter, where you saw him drive into the lane, and he was getting the dribble stripped. Now, only one of them, I think, ended up in a turnover, but that just shows you guys know that his dribbling ability still needs work. And so there were a couple times where he had good moves to the rim or a good lane to drive in, and the ball got taken from him, although he recovered it. So it's clearly he needs to keep working on dribbling. And that's fine. As I said, at Harvard, he played shooting guard. As a shooting guard, you don't have to dribble great. It's good if you do dribble well, but you don't have to dribble well. So it's something that Jeremy is going to need to continue to work on. And we know that. I mean, that's an area he has to keep moving. He showed a lot of burst and aggression. He had a strong layup on the left-handed. He went to the left, and then he came back on the right-hand side of the hoop and finished. They started doing the doubling on the pick and rolls, but he just kept doing it. He just played great. He came out, like I said, he came out strong, and he did what he needed to do. Now, one thing I noticed, and I put as a note at the end of the first quarter, was I can understand why Jeremy sometimes loses his aggression, because his dribbling isn't great still. I mean, it's much better, but he still has to get tighter so that when he drives in traffic and guys are around him, he's confident in his ability to hold on to the ball. And, his shooting's still suspect from the outside when he's standing still. Again, he's good off of the dribble. He's good when he's stepping into a shot off the dribble. He's not good standing still. So if you put him in an offense like what Houston has done, where he's a standstill shooter on a perimeter and he doesn't have the ball in his hands all the time, well, he might struggle. And that's kind of what we've seen some of this year. But now with tonight, with San Antonio, he's starting to find how he can fit into Houston's offense, even while he continues to work on some of his other skills. This is one of the reasons, and I've said this before, this is one of the reasons why I like him playing on the floor with Tony Douglas at the same time, because it allows Jeremy he doesn't have to handle the ball constantly, and he can just focus more on quick drives, shooting off the dribble, etc. So second quarter, Jeremy started out playing with Tony Douglas. One of the things that I loved in this quarter, very early on, he did one of his drives, where a lot of times he'll drive, and then he'll stop, and then he'll pivot backwards, etc. But he, unlike in the Toronto game, and I pointed this out, early in the Toronto game yesterday, he stopped his dribble, did the pivot move, then jumped up and threw the ball away. Tonight, he waited patiently after he was stopped on a drive. He waited until someone got totally free to make his pass. That just shows me he's more focused. He's being patient and not rushing, and that's how you avoid turnovers. He made his 3-point shot tonight. Again, I think it was 1 of 6. He kind of stepped into it right off the dribble. Boom. Just no thinking, no nothing. Good pace, good rhythm. You can see what he's going to be able to be once he gets all of those skill sets, the dribbling, the 3-point shooting. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me that he's not going to be able to shoot from the 3-pointer. Jason Kidd, I've watched Jason Kidd since he came into the league, I believe in 94. Jason Kidd couldn't shoot at all when he came into the NBA. Really had no jump shot at all. Now he's like 5th all time and made 3-pointers. That's because he worked at it and he learned how to do it. Jeremy can do the same thing, and he will do the same thing. So it's great. It's great. What we saw tonight, what Jeremy can be at his best. This is what he can do. This is what he's going to be able to be. And it was great to see it. Now, you saw earlier in the third quarter, he got that offensive foul where he drove into the lane strong. He ran into a guy. But again, the good thing about it was he was aggressive. He was aggressive. He stayed with it. He's like, I'm attacking. Just like to start the beginning of the game, that's how he started the third quarter. Now, the fourth quarter, the game was pretty much wrapped up. Jeremy didn't start the game, but he came in relatively, about 8 minutes left. Houston took some more control. He maintained his aggressiveness and explosiveness, and Houston just wrapped up the thing. I mean, Jeremy played a lot of minutes tonight. I have to look and see actually how many minutes he played. He played 39 minutes, played a great game, 22 points, 4 boards, 8 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, but only 1 or 2 of them wasn't that great of a turnover. When you get a charging call like he got in the start of the third quarter, that counts as a turnover. He had another pass, I can't remember, that became a turnover. So the turnovers weren't bad tonight. There might have been 1 or 2 that weren't great, but they weren't bad. Again, they came mostly from him being aggressive. So I don't have any problem with that. The assist-to-turnover ratio is 2-to-1. Sure, you like it better, but it doesn't matter. On a night like tonight, that doesn't even matter. He was aggressive. He was fast. He was decisive. He didn't pass up shots, and he played exactly the way that the coach and all the fans wanted him to play. So the summary of tonight was this. Tonight was Jeremy at his absolute best, as he can be in this version. As he continues to work on his shooting and dribbling, he will get better, and you will see better versions of him. But this is about as good as he can play given his current skill set. As I told you guys, he got mad before this game. He was mad after the Toronto game. He was more focused, and it showed in this game tonight. This is what Jeremy can be. This is what he's about. This is why they signed him to the big contract, which isn't even that big, relatively speaking. This is what all of the Linsanity 1.0 hype was about. This is why this guy is a star, is a global icon, and is going to be a star in this league. I think that tonight, the success of tonight in all facets for the team and for Jeremy can be the real starting point of a more consistent version of Linsanity 2.0. We saw it in the San Antonio game, then it went away for a couple of games, and now we saw it again tonight. I think Jeremy is going to be able to carry over some of what he was able to do tonight going forward, and that's good. And look, he's a young player. Like I said, in a lot of ways, he's essentially a rookie. It takes time to get in your mind what you need to do, when you need to do it, how to do it. But I think tonight, the excellence for him and the team, I think this is going to help Jeremy really be able to start showing more of what he can do for the Houston Rockets on a consistent basis. So this was a great win in all ways, and I love it, man. This is it. This is why we love Jeremy Lin, and it doesn't get any better than this. Give us your comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down on this video. We will include full set of links, video highlights, box score, game stories. We'll also include a link so you can come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group, which has over 2,000 members and growing all the time. Love to have you come there and join us. I am Paul at Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 YouTube Jeremy Lin fan channel. I will try to get some post-game comments from Jeremy tonight. It's a big night. We'll try to do that. And I hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are. We will talk to you again soon.